Okay, so year 10s now. Alright, so I'm going to go through really quickly what we'll be doing, or what we'll be looking at in like the first couple of weeks of Digital Media in year 10. And you'll have Miss Stevens is a special guest again today, walking in the background. She survived Nepal. Unfortunately, didn't get eaten by a Yeti, as I predicted. So we'll have to deal with that. Alright, so what we'll be looking at first up is, it's kind of, I guess, a slight change from Digital Media in Year 9, where you're going to have quite a bit of freedom here. So that's why I'm putting together this video for you now, to kind of get your head going, get some ideas happening over the next couple of weeks before we start. So I'll just get out of that. You can watch that later. So what I'm going through here, and if you had me last year, you'll know this kind of stuff, is one of the iBooks that I've made for your first unit, which focuses on documentaries. Okay, so it's all about what is involved. It's kind of filmmaking, essentially, and what you'll be doing within that. So you'll have access to this book now, so you can check it out and start looking at it. So I'm just going to go through it really quickly, and maybe emphasize a few points here and there, but essentially we'll talk about this when we come in. So what we'll be looking at here is documentaries as a medium. Okay, so what's involved, and you can see here there's quite a few things involved. You're not just going to run out there and film stuff. You're looking at, so I've used the Academy Awards here as kind of an example, because they've got some really good frameworks on what they require, but we're not going to go that deep. But essentially you're looking at a concept, which is obviously really important, pre-production, production, post-production, promotion, and all of those things that are involved in that, like concept art and scripts and screenplays and filming techniques and editing, where we'll be using Premiere Pro. We'll also have new computers too, so that'll be good. You won't be frustrated like you were last year. And we're using stuff like Photoshop and InDesign. So we're going to be building on all of the kind of the techniques that you did in Year 9, building on those and then giving you a bit of freedom in how you use it. So have a look through this book here. You can see what I've done here is I've actually put in some of the Oscars stuff, so you can have a quick flick on what is required for those guys if they want to make an actual documentary and what they need to do. We're not going to go to this level of detail, but it's just there. And this is what we'll be looking at. Okay, so you'll also see each page here is kind of themed, and what they are is they're themed with Oscar-winning documentaries for each year. So you can actually watch these as well and see what was the doco that won that year at the Oscars. So that's there for you. But this is what we're going to be looking at, okay, what you'll be producing and how you'll be producing it. So here are the technical specs on what's required, and then what you need to do in terms of using InDesign, Illustrator, Photoshop. So that's those pages there. So this is really just to kind of give you an idea on what you're looking at, give you some some examples here of what other people have done, and start to get thinking. But the key here is I'll go all the way back to this one. This is going to be important. This is what I want you to be thinking about now, is the concept. Okay, so the idea about your doco. So what you need to think about is it's going to be a non-fiction documentary. Okay, so it's got to be real. It's got to be something that's important, and it's got to be something that has significance or relevance in your life. Okay, so that's probably a bit deep, so I'll explain that when I see you all later. But it needs to be something that is kind of close to you, something that is important to you, and that's what you're going to be doing for your documentary. Okay, it's kind of a way for you to get the word out to other people who may not know about this side of you, or this thing that you think is really important that more people should know about. That's what you're going to be doing. So that's what I want you to think about now, and when we come back, so you kind of have that idea in your head ready to roll. So anyway, let's go back to it. So have a look through here. See what you need. So in here, I've kind of broken it down into, again, the tech specs, what you're doing, your production plan. So this is like what you're going to be doing to prepare for making this doco. And again, this is just kind of an overview, but in class, we'll be doing smaller little classes where I'll talk about these kind of things, and we'll do little lessons on these individual elements, so they'll make a bit more sense as well. But pre-production, so your production plan, some kind of thinking questions to kind of help guide you, in planning and what you could use and what your subject matter is going to be, and are you going to be interviewing people and how it's going to look. All that kind of stuff is there. your concept. So your sketchbook, which will be more important this time around. I know we did a little bit of sketching in Year 9, but it's going to be a lot more important for what you're going to be doing in Year 10, not just for this unit, but for all the units you'll be doing over the course of the year. That sketchbook's going to be really, really important. And it'll also link into, if you're going to be moving on to, in Year 11 and 12, if you're doing media or digimedia or viscom, see I'm plugging Miss Stevens now, if you do those subjects, it'll be really important to have those kind of skills in creating a sketchbook that she will use. So that's why they're there as well. Cool. So we're looking at that production stuff, collating all your work. See, if I didn't say it, I'd get in trouble. Collating your work, metadata, postmortems, all this kind of stuff will all make sense. And just killed somebody. And then finally, that's it there. So here's your success criteria and what we're looking at, a few references as well. But this is essentially the book. So what I want you to do is go through this, download it either through my website or better yet, subscribe to the iTunes U course because this will be updated over the course of the year. Have a read through this, have a read through these details, watch these little videos as well. This was obviously the latest one that won an Oscar, which is Search for Sugar Man, which is really cool. Even watch Searching for Sugar Man if you can find it, if you're bored, check it out. But yeah, go through this book, see what we're looking at, see the requirements, and then the main thing, like I said, I want is this one here. Think of this concept. What do you want to do a doco on? Something that is relevant, important, interesting to you. And yeah, feel free to email me if you want any questions between now and when we start. And I will see you soon. Bon Jovi.